This is Things You Might Not Have Heard, and I am Jake from Payne. And today we have a great show for you, which is basically a lot of things you might not have heard. There are the big stories and some hits there as well, but there's a lot of things here that are semi important that have been missed or overlooked, and some things that are really not important. And that's kind of the point of the show. We, as your tertiary news source, give you news that is conversational, things that you guys tell us you want to talk about based on social media hits, and sometimes things that are just so outlandishly outlandish they just tend to do that. And today happens to be the show for the 6th of August, 2025. And we have news from Hiroshima as they mark a very solemn memorial there. Also, Megyn Kelly keeps a story in the news that should be long gone. And we are the problem talking about Megyn Kelly in the story. And a very, very curious story about ice cream, breast flavored ice cream. Yes, we're going there. Yes, it's going to be as much as it gets in this face, the Zick face. You'll get more of that once we get there. But remind you that our website home is this. It's a conversationproject.com, our online home where you can find more details about what we do, how we do it, and some of the replays of things happening for the conversation. And where to find us other places as well. We're also on TikTok. We're doing shorts. We do podcasts where we can find us all over the place, plus sponsorship information and, of course, some partnership information. And if you want to get in on today's spotlight sponsor, which is Ground News, it's very simple. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/ground news. They will provide you with that link there, a link to a great deal. 40% off their News Vantage plan and a small commission for us. So with that, let's get into the news stories, 8 as promised from the past 30 hours or so, that are conversational, that are important, that are ones you really want to get into. And we're going to kick things off right off the bat with literally the big one. Hiroshima marks an 80-year since the atomic bomb happening, with survivors warning of a rise in nuclear threats. Hiroshima held a solemn ceremony to mark the 80th anniversary of the U.S. atomic bombing that killed over 100,000 people in 1945. The aging survivors used this occasion to voice concerns over rising global nuclear tensions at the moment. Japan's prime minister reiterated that the country's non-nuclear stance has stopped short of criticizing global superpowers. They don't talk outright about the folks who have the actual nukes, but they do say what they can say about the actual process and what could happen if these things are used. Youth representations has been a big part of the peace declarations of now, as 80 years has passed. So many people are long gone for this is something that they remember, or they remember sort of naturally. It's now more history. Like we say right now, things happen right now, eventually turn into things that you don't quite remember. This highlights generational responsibility of keeping this hope alive. This gives us hope for things such as people who are forgetting the bombing of Pearl Harbor these days, because it's something that's now history, and people who are now too old to remember 9/11, and so the never forget is becoming of I didn't really understand it. So this is a symbol of something happening so long ago that the younger generations are getting involved into it right now. The event unfolded amid ongoing geopolitical instability right now. Urgency to anti-nuclear messaging, which is especially going loud with things going on, especially with Russia right now and its dealings with Ukraine. A federal judge has issued subpoenas that are requiring Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify in the expanded Epstein trafficking investigation. Court documents cite previously undisclosed meetings and social events that connect the Clintons to the Epstein network. Legal analysts say the testimony may relate more to knowledge of associates than direct involvement. Not that Clintons did anything, but maybe they know someone who did something. Clintons have denied any wrongdoing and are calling them pro-politically motivated, which pretty much is, to be honest. I mean, flat it is, but they have to comply with this order unless they can find a way out of it. The prosecutors are insisting the request is part of a broader effort to uncover enablers and institutional failures. It's not just targeting the Clintons specifically, but a whole lot of people who are in the crosshairs for the Trump administration and Trump adjacent folks are seemingly coming to terms with the fact that all of a sudden they are being asked about Jeffrey Epstein, even though Donald Trump wants people to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein. There have been so many stories lately of just, and they seem like they're random, but they have similar things. People in the woods being killed by people. It's amazing what it is. It's really sickening. But we have a resolution to another one of these stories, as a Tennessee man, Austin Drummond, has been found and arrested. He's accused of killing 4 relatives in Memphis and, of course, leaving a baby on its own for a while. 7 days on the lam for this one, now a actual resolution. Authorities found him hiding in a vacant property outside the city after a multi-agency search for him. His victims included his parents and 2 siblings. The motives still unclear under investigation going forward. Drummond was reportedly armed and considered dangerous throughout the manhunt, but they found him, and for a mostly peacefully surrender. The pictures may tell you otherwise, but they took him down without much incident. He now faces multiple murder charges, is being held without bond on a situation like this, which is basically merit that one. Criminal charges could have been filed against the CEO of the Titan sub if he would have survived the actual incident that happened. Now, deeper into the story, the Coast Guard has actually did a long hearing to go through the details of the Titan sub that imploded on a trip down to go see the Titanic. And the CEO of the company, Stockton Rush, who was on that ship, could have actually faced criminal charges and a separate charge of negligence if he would have survived the dive or anyone survived that dive. Newly released report reveals that ignored warnings, lack of certifications, and flawed safety protocols were essentially all leading up to this eventually happening on this actual trip here. Many people testified, former employees and people in the safety area, saying that there were things wrong with this design, things wrong with the checks, things wrong with checklists and how things were going on because the CEO wanted to basically make it work. Many people in the submersible industry didn't quite see Rush as a relevant person or a reliable person anyway. And so the fact that he pushed to make this thing happen and rich people paid to go down in the submersible are amazing, but this is what we're ending up with. That implosion killed all 5 on board the trip as it went down to see the wreckage of the Titanic. Industry experts say that Russia's approach reflected a disregard for any regulatory norms in deep sea tourism, essentially just rushing it, getting it done, and making as much money as possible. He did use the term, he broke a lot of rules to get things done. And in breaking rules, he broke a lot of real rules, safety protocols to get things done. And his life and 4 others are the actual consequence of this. The debate over private exploration and safety and oversight is now back up into a big stink for people who are explorers and want to do it on their own. It's one thing to pay for someone to build something, go down there without any actual regulation. But without any actual regulation, making this more of a tourist type thing becomes really, really, really bad. Taking a pause from the stories we have, 8 stories down, 8 more to go, and you'll get to see them in just a moment. Or 4 stories down, 4 more to go. We'll get the next 4 in a bit, and we will go into the distraction story that keeps on living because we can't stay away from it, and we'll explain quickly, go along on this one, and why I am the actual problem with this one. But right now, we want you to like, share, and subscribe to the work that you are seeing here inside of our social media, on YouTube, on X, on Facebook for this one specifically, or maybe on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and other places as well. Like the work you're seeing so that more people can see it. It's that simple. If you like it, the algorithms will share it with more folks. If you like it, I see I'm doing a good job, so I'll try to do more of the stuff that's good. If you share it with more people who are like-minded, they'll see it directly, and hopefully they will like and help grow as well. And if you're not getting this natively into your feed, if this is coming from a share or from a suggestion from the algorithms, subscribe. That way, whether you have notifications on or not, when you go check to see what your feeds are feeding you, we'll be there. Whether it's this thing that comes down in the mornings or the hot takes throughout the day or the shorts as we're putting them here and there, we are here for you to give you more stories that are conversational, maybe a couple things you may have missed, and maybe some more detail or a bit more exposition on something that you've seen in quite a different way. So like, share, and subscribe to get in on the News Nerd Nation. Be a part of the conversation with us. This is the story that unfortunately keeps on giving. It cannot go away. And the media, are part of the problem. This is a distraction that is keeping us away from talking about other stories, including that guy we already talked about a bit earlier. But Megyn Kelly is stretching the Sydney Sweeney story with her stance as she is criticizing Beyoncé with a Levi's ad for jeans she's saying is manufactured out of touch. Some of the same words that are being used for the American Eagles ad towards Sydney Sweeney, but it just gets really kind of racist in the mix. Kelly compared the ad unfavorably to Sweeney's work, saying Sweeney's is great, but Beyonce's isn't, saying Sweeney was authentic and relatable. course, we already said that Beyonce's was manufactured out of touch, per Megyn Kelly. Beyonce fans are accusing Kelly of racial bias and selective targeting of Black artists. Now, here's where it is. If you're watching this on video, you see a side-by-side of Sydney Sweeney, a beautiful blonde lady wearing jeans, the top bit open, so we got a little cleavage there, and, nice jeans. Her great jeans, if you will. Beyonce wearing blue jeans by a different company. She actually has blonde hair in this mix as well, and so it's more or less the same thing, a little cleavage. The Americana look of stylized jeans. Megyn Kelly doesn't like it on Beyonce because she copied Sydney Sweeney, maybe. So maybe. But if it's a style, it's a style. The jeans are jeans. Levi has not yet responded to any controversy. Carl says the controversy. There really shouldn't be any. But the controversy is the fact that I'm talking about it. And yes, I know I'm making it a controversy by talking about it. This is a news story that is interesting. It is conversational. People are bringing it up. Donald Trump has talked about it. Britney Spears. Taylor Swift is now involved into it because Taylor Swift is woke and Sydney Sweeney is cool. This is not talking about tariffs. This is not talking about geopolitical politics. This is not talking about war or famine or, as we said earlier, Epstein. There are so many other things going on. And yes, we here at the Conversation Project do what we can to give some of those stories that are off the beaten path. But this is one that people are really, really into. And I can understand why. But it's also should be a flash and a go, not the distraction, not people going to, not even Megyn Kelly using this to glom onto her eyeballs to get onto these things, as I am completely at fault for doing the same thing. Talk about Megyn Kelly, talking about Sydney Sweeney and Beyonce, because I'm doing it myself. I'm the problem. It's me. There's no problem in March Madness. There is no problem in March Madness. But the problem that isn't there will not be fixed this season, as March Madness will not expand the men or the women's game, the brackets, to more than 68 official teams in the tournament. It's been confirmed for the season. However, 2027 is not that far away. So some conferences actually push for expansion to allow greater representation and revenue opportunities, get more teams into the field, more eyeballs, more folks to watch, more opportunities for the teams and the games and the players, and for us to watch more basketball. The problem is, critics say it could dilute the competition and stretch the resources. Still has to fit in that window between the very end of March and beginning of the Masters and getting all those games in. And of course, there was controversy when the first four became a thing, which only basically stretched by technically two teams, because four teams had to play into two spots. Or first eight, I should say. They play in for four spots that are already there. But it's not going to happen. NCAA President Charlie Baker emphasized stability and tradition over structure and change. It wasn't originally, it wasn't originally where it was at 68 teams. It started out smaller and grew into it. And it did, and then TV came into part of it, and it became what it was. But the move to make things bigger, just like the move to make the football playoffs bigger and other things bigger, because more eyeballs, more TV, more money, going to be paused at least, or unheld. They won't deal with it for this season. This was announced ahead of the preseason plannings for this year, but 2027, not too far away. A small regional zoo in Missouri is under fire. They were soliciting people to hand over their pets that were unwanted, like rabbits or chickens or guinea pigs, to feed to their predators as live food. Zoo critics are saying the practice mirrors natural diets because the animals can eat live animals and is more humane than euthanasia for the actual pets, or just leave them out in the middle of the street someplace because you don't want them anymore. Animal rights groups say that the policy is exploitative and manipulative, which sounds about right. It's something that may not be what you want to promote for your zoo or for your patrons of the zoo. Local officials are reviewing whether the practice violates any animal cruelty statutes, so maybe it's not even viable. Zoo's director defended the move as ecologically realism, something that is real and simple to do and doesn't really cause a lot of issues. Your mileage may vary. For this story, there's a trigger warning, there's an ick warning, there's all sort of things here. I must assure you that it's totally safe, except for maybe getting through the story. A boutique ice cream brand has launched a breast milk flavored product, which is now available for online purchase across these United States. God bless America. The flavor actually does not contain breast milk, which is sort of the problem, or not the problem. It's designed to mimic the taste and profile using organic dairy and flavor chemistry. The release is sparking basically an uproar on social media where people are freaking out with curiosity in some cases, or if you can see on my face, total disgust. The company markets the product as a boundary pushing and nostalgic piece of flavor, targeting adventurous consumers. If you really want to get some of this stuff, trust me, there are people who want some of this stuff. It's there. The FDA confirmed the non-violations of what's going on. No human milk involved. No ick factor for real in this one. So it's all safe. Nothing to worry about. Other than the fact that it is a little, it's a lot. It's a lot bad. It's bad. It's terrible. It's bad. It's a bad idea. Don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Just like you aren't going to, stop talking about Sydney Sweeney. Don't buy Frida breast milk ice cream. Just don't do it. We now go to our spotlight sponsor for the day, which is Ground News. And if you want to get a full scoping of how breast milk ice cream or Sydney Sweeney or Hiroshima is being taken care of, Ground News can cover that one. Believe it or not, Ground News has the sources to all the sources. If you want to see how the news is being covered by all the sources, go to Ground News, use your app on your phone, or go to the website, and you can see a nice spread of what's happening out there. They will show you headlines. They'll show you sources, like the news sources, like it's a BBC, it's a CNN, and they'll show you side-by-sides of some of the details of the stories. See how they're being written, see how they're being told, see how they're being talked about, see how it's going on, so you can understand the full details of the stories. You may feel like you're being blindsided by a certain type of story that's being pushed into your feed, and your blindside feature, their blindside feature, can help you out with that one to tell you what stories are being overly pushed by certain factions, what blue or red folks want you to see more of some stories and less of others, because it looks better for their cause and worse for theirs. You can get a great deal with Ground News by getting 40% off their plans by visiting our link at thisistheconversationproject.com/ground news. This is theconversationproject.com/ground news. There's a whole lot going on in this. And so in this world of stories, and today's stories was a nice smattering of things that literally were sort of missed with the important things. A lot of things that are economic importance or political importance or just regular life and death importance. There was not a lot of coverage of the Hiroshima memorial, which was yesterday, which is actually a bit tragic. But with a mark like that and so many things going on so wildly in this world, this moment, it really is important to get things like that. So if you want to see more things like that and see what more things you're being told that aren't quite being told the way they should be, check out Ground News. Use our link, thisisconversationproject.com/ground news. Get 40% off their plans, and we get a small commission as this is an affiliate link. Thank you so much for being a part of our day today, letting us be part of your day for Wednesday, August 6, 2025. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne. I am the producer, I'm the host, I'm the chief bottle washer, and all that stuff for the Conversation Project. For me and all the folks who do work behind the scenes to get this thing done, thank you so much for riding with us, helping us get through these things. This is a labor of love that sometimes is what keeps me going. So I'm glad for all the responses I get from you guys in what we do. It's also a labor that takes resources. So if you see the scroll, check out possible partnership opportunities, check out things you want to help out, go to our website and look for things as well. Assuming that the internet was strong, I got a weak signal there, but assuming we can have a fairly good broadcast, I've seen a good number of folks in here live. So thank you so much for keeping us with us. Love you guys. Mean it so much. We're going to do what we can to stay upright, stay here, and be here again for tomorrow's show.